Do you think teaching acting has made you yourself a better actor? I know, like, I taught filmmaking for like 17 years, and it definitely got better, you know, with repetition and stuff. Do you find that the same?
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of times when I'll be teaching and somebody will ask me a question, especially if it's about the business end of it, you know, like, you know, listen, what do I need to do to get in front of casting directors? And I'm like, well, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're, you know, at least quarterly getting out an emailer, blah, 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 blah. And you need to make sure you're in contact with your agent. And then in the back of my mind, I'm going, oh crap, Pat, you need to be doing the things you're telling you. You know, it's like, you know, so, but there's something about that sharing the knowledge that, you know, kind of keeps it fresh.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you know, I'll jump into something in class, and do it as well. Yeah. And, it's funny. I think it's important that my students see that I'm one of them, because and I think that's one of the reasons that, the lab works, is because I'm a working actor. I mean, you know, when somebody comes in the door for the first time, I'm like, well, the reason this is going to work out is because I'm doing exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
So if I find out something doesn't work, I'll tell you. And if I find out something does work, I'll tell you.
Right.
Know? So we're all kind of pushing in the same direction. Yeah. And with acting too, you know, I'm always going to be me. And there's things about me that I'm going to bring to every role that, you know, somebody else isn't, but there's things about you that you're going to bring to a role that nobody else can, you know? So it's so individual. It's just, a lot of times it's just getting out of your way.
Right. What I learned, at the lab and from studying was, I think it takes about, like JD says, it takes about 4 years to really get it. And then once you reach that point where you get it, you start to see your own things, like your own personality, really come out in the work you do. And
I think you're finally able to relax a little.
Yeah, like you learn the principles behind it and how it works, and then you just sort of do it.
Yeah.
And then then the cool stuff starts happening. You know, that's when it starts to seem real.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, but I think it takes a long time to realize that it's easier than you thought it was.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh, wait, if I don't try so hard, it comes out more realistic. That's weird.
But I think some of that's also, I guess taking that structure and those ideas and ingraining those into your mind where it's subconscious, where it's almost like you're doing the structural part of it autonomously. And that's when you can get out of your head, because early on you're trying to figure out, like, okay, I have to have a point of view, and I have to have a choice that has nothing to do with the scene, but I still have to be this person in this scene, and it's got to be real. And you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. What does this mean? Yeah. Early on it feels like you're doing, like, 6 different things at once. But a lot of those base things become just natural, it's a process.
Yeah, it's just getting in the zone.
Yeah,
once you get some stuff on autopilot, then that's when stuff happens.
Like, it's good.
Yeah. Going back to Underground Railroad, since they offered me the part, I had never done it, until I saw the sides, and so I was on set and all my choices were wrong. Like, I had made some great choices and they were wrong. And I had deduced what was going on by the script. But I, felt I was one way, and Barry Jenkins came in and after our rehearsal for camera basically told me I wasn't that way.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So then I had to change everything around. And so, I kind of stay in it when I'm on set. So when in between takes, when they were resetting cameras, I never left the set. I'm sure I was in their way, and they were just kind enough not to tell me I was in their way. But it also saves them from having to bring a stand-in in. But anyway, so I'm there and I'm still in it, and I'm working out everything that Barry told me. And he came in and he got in my ear and he goes, "That's exactly where you need to be." And I was like, he goes, "Where you are right now is exactly where you need to be." And I just said, okay, You know,
That's
and
cool.
from then on, you know, once he put that in my ear, I was like, I could let everything else go,
Yeah.
and then everything worked. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of the being experienced is you can, you know, if your choices aren't right for the character and the director wants something else, you've made enough different choices in your training that it's easy to just switch your choice to something else and then go into that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and it's also kind of, oh, well, if I'm making that, if that's what I need to be, then I need to be thinking and feeling this way.
Right, yeah.
You know, and letting this, you know, this part of the scene affect me in this certain way. And then once you hook that up, you
There's a
just
lot
kinda
of
let go.
inexperienced actors, they think that your choice is like the facial expression you make, or,
Right.
you know, like you have to pretend like you're mad. Well, no, you have to have a choice that makes you angry.
Right.
And it's inside you.
Yeah.
You know, you feel it in your heart.
Yeah.
You know, and also I guess for young actors that are just getting started, they need to know that it is a craft, it is an art, and you have to put a lot of work into it to develop that craft and that art. It's not about memorizing lines and making faces, you know, and you know, you guys at the lab always taught me that, where you teach at the lab, that it's not about memorizing lines at all. It's
Right.
about learning the ideas, and then the words fall into the place. You know, like, so now, because of my training, if I get a 5-page audition or longer, I mean, I can have it down in a couple hours.
Yeah.
You know, put it on tape the next day, because I'm not trying to memorize lines. I'm learning the idea, working it out, and then just putting the right words in the right place. And it's almost like magic, you know. It's almost like you're not doing it; it just happens.
Yeah.
You know. And so I think young actors need to know that. They need to not get frustrated because they keep going up on lines, because all that is they're just they're still learning the process, so they're constantly in their head trying to regulate and adjust what's happening. But if you keep doing it over and over again, you eventually reach a place where all that stuff's natural, and then it's easy to just kind of fall into the script, and it just comes out right. And then you can worry about, you know, maybe your certain adjusting choices, or
Right.
you know, things like that.
Right.
And that's where I'm at now. I mean, I think it takes 20 years to be a real master at the craft, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you,
I don't guess
do
there's
you
not
ever
a real time.
feel like you're
I think you just
done?
always learn.
Yeah, I think you're always evolving. I think since we're always changing, it's
Yeah, that's
you're
true,
always
yeah.
going to, you know, change the way you approach stuff.
Yeah, right.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I don't want everyone to get bored with it. You
No,
know?
I don't. Yeah, you could
So-
never, I guess, really master it.
Yeah.
Because you could never master who you are.
Yeah. So you're always learning, which is great.
Yeah.